few years ago, I got into what ended up being an argument about Jordan Peterson on Twitter with somebody, and the interesting part is, by the time we were done arguing, we definitely didn't see eye to eye, and politically, I think we see the world in completely different places, to the point where the dude eventually ended up just blocking me on Twitter. Even though what I'm about to talk about was actually a positive interaction that came out of this, and that was something I was trying to find. I definitely looked for this. I in the moment was like, you know what, I don't agree with this guy. However, it's possible that I can get something out of this. And so I ended up asking the guy, do you have any book recommendations for me? He was very much saying, like, whatever you do, don't listen to anything Peterson, don't talk Peterson, And I was like, all right, well, what should I read? I'm willing to read just about anything. One of the things I like about truth filters and having a truth filter is I can read things that maybe I don't agree with, and I can listen to it and go, okay, this is something I can pull from this, and the rest of this is kaput, not worth listening to. But he suggested I read the I Ching. Boba. He suggested I read the I Ching. And I looked it up, and lo and behold, it's an ancient Taoist text. And I was kind of shocked, because I grew up, and I, since a young age, had a fascination with, Taoism. And I'd never even heard of this. I'd heard of the Tao Te Ching. I'd read the Tao Te Ching. I'd seen various forms of the Tao Te Ching. Never heard of the I Ching. And so my idiot self bought it on Audible and tried to listen to it. And that was a very awkward experience. It worked out as I happened to just be cleaning a walk-in fridge at work, like all of the shelving inside out, moving around everything and cleaning all of this stuff inside of a fridge for almost 4 hours. So I just listened to it while I did that, and let me tell you, it is not an audio experience. The book is not meant to be an audio experience. There are things that are worth seeing visually, and also just in order to even begin to grasp the book, you just need a physical copy. The Tao Te Ching, it's something that I would recommend that you just go ahead and listen to. You can get yourself a physical copy, and you can read it physically if you'd like to. However, it's not necessary. With the I Ching, I'm 100% it's necessary. If you want to learn from the I Ching, if you want to study the I Ching, get yourself a physical copy. Second, when I did finally get myself a physical copy and begin reading it and starting to grasp and understand it, it was a pretty cool book. It's a book of change. It's a system of change, in a sense. And it also is a system of divination. It's not tarot, but it has its own system of divination. And one of the things I am deeply grateful for is the experiment that I've started in my most recent journal as an experiment to help me learn and study the I Ching further and deeper. And that is, I started using my journal as a place to just write down my various divinations. And so it's served long term as a source of information for me to go back and look at and try and figure out, where was I? What type of advice was I looking for? What was I trying to divine at that time? What did I think was important enough to be divining about? What was I experiencing? How was I interpreting these divinations? And then, in hindsight, I can always go back and leave little notes and be like, okay, what happened? How did life proceed from here with 20/20 vision? What do I think about this? And it's been a very powerful journaling technique. So whether you are someone who's interested in buying the I Ching and using the I Ching for a journaling technique like this, or this is enough to excite you to just journal yourself without the divination practice, just so you have this lens to look at and see what was important and what was worth journaling about. Or you already have a divination practice such as tarot, and I hope this excites you to try and maybe bring this into a single journal in which you can have this information to look back on. I've had this practice going for about 2 years now, maybe 3, and I'm very grateful for it, as I have one notebook that I can go back years now and get an idea of what's been right here, right now, what's been important. And also I've been able to study a book that I think is pretty freaking cool. And if you're into any form of divination, there is a studious element to the process. I love you all. I hope this video helps. Peace.